Is this thing on? Well, hello there. My name's Taylor King. I'm a realtor in the Calgary market. I've been licensed since 2018. Before that, I sold cars for 17 years. So a lot of sales experience. I'm a top performer pretty consistently at my office. I've won a few awards. And over my 4 years of selling real estate, I've distilled my knowledge and all the lessons I've learned into these 10 commandments. I think these are the most important concepts for new agents to remember. And so let's get started. Here are my 10 commandments. First commandment, agency, agency, agency. I said it 3 times because it needs to be repeated. I didn't put these in any particular order except this one because it is the most important. Agency, agency, agency. Never lose sight of the fact that you are acting on someone else's behalf. As I was getting more success in this business and doing a lot more deals with more experienced realtors, the consistent top performers whose names are recognizable in this town, that is the one thing I noticed with them, that they all took their fiduciary duty very seriously. They fought hard. They went to bat. They went to war for their clients. If you remember nothing else, remember that. It might mean it's a longer game, okay? It might mean you have to show more houses. It's probably going to mean you're going to talk people out of buying houses. But the thing is, when you do something like that, you make it obvious to your client that you are in it for them. They need to know that, and you need to truly, truly believe that and live it. So that's your first commandment. Agency, agency, agency. Second commandment, this is not a job. Real estate is not a job. You can't think of it as a job. You don't punch in at 9 and punch out at 5. This is your life now. If you want to make this work, this is your life. This is your identity. You don't do real estate. You're not in real estate. You are a real estate agent. From the time you wake up till the time you go to bed, and even in between, you should be dreaming about real estate. You should be obsessed with the MLS. You should be on there every day, first thing in the morning. That should be the first part of your routine, looking at listings. And this is going to make you better at your job. It's going to make you more aware of the market. It's going to make you more useful to your clients, and it's going to give you credibility. It's actually why I love real estate, because it doesn't feel like a job. And if you can't treat it that way, to completely take it on as your whole life, it might not be for you. Third commandment, turn your clients into fans. You want to make the experience so good that your clients will rave about you. They'll tell all their friends about you, their family. They'll do all the prospecting for you, so you can count on a steady stream of referrals and repeat business for an enduring career. And in doing so, don't lose sight of this fact. Moving sucks. It really sucks. It sucks for everybody. Even a good move still sucks. So remind yourself of that as you go through the process with them, and think of ways that you can make moving suck a little bit less. This ties in really well with the first commandment about agency, because when your clients see that you're really going to bat for them, that's going to stick with them. That's going to go towards making them your fan. Fourth commandment, maintain a presence. You cannot afford to be a secret agent. People need to know who you are and what you do. We live in the information age. It's never been easier or cheaper, free, to get your name out there and to get in front of people. Being on social media, I don't really think it's optional. If you're an established agent with a huge book of business, I'm sure you're getting away with it. But if you're a new agent now, you got to have a presence. Get your name in front of people. Let them know what you're doing. Show them what you're doing. Show them you at your best, doing what you do best. This is valuable for new clients, to attract new clients. It's also valuable for existing clients. They want to see what you're doing. They're your fans, remember? Now, I don't want to cram anything down anyone's throat. I want to take up this much space, right there, right at the back of their head, just my name, that's it. Not interrupting anything, but eventually, everyone's going to need a real estate agent for the most part. And when they do need one, I want them to think of me. So maintain a presence. Fifth commandment, be resourceful. You are guiding your clients through a very complex process with a lot of pitfalls along the way, and you're going to need a lot of help along the way. They're going to be leaning on you to be resourceful. You're going to have a lot of questions. They're going to expect answers. Think of yourself as their personal concierge. You need to get them connected. You're the connector. You're going to connect them with a lot of other vendors that you're going to need to get them through this process. So come up with a list. Ask around if you're brand new. Ask for recommendations. Ask for good endorsements. But you're going to need a solid vendor list. It's going to include movers, lawyers, property inspectors, handymen, other contractors, painters, condo document reviewers. Build a list, have the answers, be resourceful. Sixth commandment, stay in your sphere, but never stop growing it. You're going to hear a lot about SOI, your sphere of influence, and that represents everybody within your influence, everybody sort of connected to you directly or indirectly. So what was really helpful for me was going through this mindset shift where rather than looking outside of my sphere of influence to get new clients, I started looking at it as expanding my sphere and bringing people into it. And then it didn't feel like I was dealing with strangers, and they don't feel like they're dealing with strangers. So think of yourself like as the sun or as like a star, and you're just pulling people into your orbit and keeping them there. And this goes back to maintaining a presence. Because eventually they're going to need an agent and they're going to think of you. But they'll still feel like they're part of your sphere of influence, and you didn't have to go outside of that to get a client. My seventh commandment is to fight above your weight class. I remember early in my career facing off against veteran, top-performing agents to do a deal. And it's kind of like stepping in the ring as a flyweight amateur boxer, and you're jumping in the ring with Mike Tyson. He's going to kick your ass. It's not even going to be close. But what can you take from that, from being in the same ring with one of the greats? What can you learn from it? How can you level up? What skills are you going to get? So try to surround yourself with those top performing agents, the people with the recognizable names, the people that are killing it at your office. Ask them for advice. Keyword advice. Don't ask them for help. Asking for advice is a compliment, and people are happy to give you advice, and it's really valuable advice, and it's free. So observe their habits, learn their skills, and adopt what works for you. And I see what works for you because that's one of the coolest things about this business. There's not one correct way to do it. If you stick with these principles, you follow the commandments, you can do it your way. You can put your own spin on it and have your own style. But if you surround yourself with those top producing agents, you're going to accelerate your growth in this business. My eighth commandment is to work on your long game. Now this kind of ties into the first commandment, which they all sort of do. And it's important to realize that there's no instant gratification in real estate. It is a long sales cycle. It is relationship selling. I used to sell cars, and you could sell a car and you could count on seeing that commission on your paycheck by the 15th or the 30th. It doesn't work that way in real estate. Some deals take a year, sometimes longer, to close, and then getting paid, you have to wait until possession, and then sometimes a few weeks after that before you see the money. So rather than think about your next deal and your next commission, which can hurt you, your clients can pick up on that. We call it commission breath. It's going to be hard, but you have to focus more on putting effort into the relationship with the client, earning trust, earning respect, acting in their best interest. It's going to be hard, but the deals will come, and especially early on when the bills are piling up and you're getting in the hole. Eventually, you'll get enough momentum that there's always kind of something coming due. But focus on the relationship, focus on the clients, and work on that long game. My ninth commandment: change your relationship with money. Now, I'm not qualified to give financial advice, but I'm learning from my mistakes, and I'm going to pass that on to you. This is not a job. You're self-employed now. There's no steady paycheck. And when there is a paycheck, they're not taking taxes off that paycheck. You got to figure out how much you owe at the end of the year and send a big chunk of it to the Canada Revenue Agency or the IRS or whatever. You might go months without getting paid, and the pay is going to come in big chunks. So make sure when you get that chunk of pay, you carve off a little chunk of that for taxes. You're going to need it eventually, and you carve off another chunk for a rainy day, because you're going to need that too. And if you find yourself deep in a hole, you get way behind, it can take a long time to crawl out of that hole. So think about this. Change your relationship with money. 10th and final commandment: tell it to a judge. As a real estate agent, you are guiding people through a complex process using complex contracts. Now, those contracts are pretty dialed in. A lot of work has gone into those. But you can't afford to be sloppy with those contracts. The consequences of a mistake can be financially or legally fatal. Your client could lose their life savings. You could lose your career and your license. So what you need to do is you need to treat every document you handle as though you might have to stand in front of a judge and explain it one day. And you might. It happens. So take your time and do it right. Don't be sloppy with contracts. So that concludes my 10 realtor commandments. I tried to condense these principles down into, little snack-sized morsels, but I'd be happy to expand on any of those points. And I have this sinking feeling that there's probably some big ones that I missed. So if you'd like to expand on any of these ideas, or if you feel there's something that that I missed and I'm going to facepalm myself really hard for not thinking of it, I want to hear from you. Let's talk about it. And I hope you found these helpful.